Hello, sweethearts. If you're here, I guess you want to know the real story. Not the pretty one we tell at Christmas. The real one. The one I've never told all at once. Until today. I'm 92. I might not have many days left. So pull up a chair. Because some of this is going to hurt. I was born in 1933, right in the middle of the Great Depression. We were so poor, my mama used to boil the same potato peelings 3 days in a row, just so we had something in our stomachs. I was the oldest of eight mouths, and one skinny cow. People always say we were poor but happy. Let me tell you something, we were not happy. We were hungry. And hunger makes children mean. When I was 7, my little brother Tommy, he was 4, he got so weak from not eating. He just lay down in the dirt one day, and never got back up. I still see his little face. That was the first time death came to our house. But not the last. Fast forward. I'm 16 now. 1949. There was a boy named Billy. He had green eyes and a smile that made the whole world quiet. But Billy was Catholic. And we were strict Baptist. My daddy said if I ever spoke to him again, he'd take the belt to me until I couldn't sit. So of course, I fell madly in love. One night in the summer of 1951, I snuck out to meet him behind the old cotton gin. That was the night I gave him everything. 3 weeks later, I knew I was pregnant. I was 18, unmarried, in a small southern town. You might as well have put a scarlet letter on me. I told my mama. She slapped me so hard I saw stars. Then she cried harder than I did. My daddy said, "That baby's going to a home, and you're never speaking that boy's name again." They sent me away to a place in Mobile, Alabama, one of those homes for girls in trouble. I gave birth to a little girl on March 3, 1952. They let me hold her for 5 minutes. She had Billy's green eyes. Then they took her. I never even gave her a name. If you're still here, thank you. Because the next part is the one nobody in our family knows. Not even my own children. Billy shipped out with the army to Korea in 1952. He wrote me every week. Until the letters stopped. One Tuesday morning, 2 men in uniform knocked on my door. I knew before they even spoke. Billy was gone, blown up by a landmine 3 days before his 21st birthday. I still have the last letter he ever wrote me. It says, "Wait for me, Rose. I'm coming home to marry you and find our baby." I slept with that letter under my pillow for 30 years. The marriage everyone thought was perfect. People said I needed to move on. So in 1955 I married Harold. He was a good man. Steady job at the mill. Never drank. We had 4 beautiful children. Your mama was the oldest. On the outside we looked perfect. Church every Sunday. Pot roast on Tuesdays. But every night when Harold was asleep, I'd cry into my pillow, so quiet even the dog couldn't hear. In 2010, I got a phone call from a woman with a shaking voice. She said, "My name is Emily Grace. I think you're my mother." She found me through one of those ancestry websites. My daughter, the one they took from me in 1952, she was alive. She was 58 years old, married, 3 grandbabies, and she wanted to meet me. We met at a Cracker Barrel off I-65. I knew her the second I saw her, those green eyes. Billy's eyes. She walked up and said, "Mama." I couldn't speak. I just opened my arms, and she fell into them like she was still that tiny baby. We cried so hard the waitress brought us free pie, and didn't charge us. But here's what I never told Emily. And I'm telling you now because I can't carry it anymore. When I was 22, broken from losing Billy and my baby, I tried to take my own life. I swallowed a whole bottle of my mama's nerve pills. My little sister found me turning blue on the bathroom floor. They pumped my stomach. Told the church it was food poisoning. I lived. But part of me died that night. Harold passed in 1998. Cancer. I raised the 4 kids alone. Worked double shifts at the textile mill until I was 70. My body's worn out now. Arthritis in every joint. Heart acts up. But I never missed a single grandchild's birthday. You kids are the reason I kept breathing. So if you're watching this, and you're hurting, listen to an old woman who's made every mistake. Your pain has an expiration date. It doesn't feel like it, but it does. One morning you'll wake up, and the sun will look different. You'll laugh at something stupid and realize, you're still here. And that's a miracle. There's one more thing I've never told a soul. Last year, I went back to that cotton gin, where Billy and I used to meet. It's just ruins now. I buried a little box in the dirt. Inside, The only picture I have of Billy. The hospital bracelet from when I had Emily. And a letter that says, "To whoever finds this, love is worth every tear. Don't waste a minute of your life being afraid to feel. I'm tired now. Sweethearts, my eyes are heavy. But I needed you to know the truth. The pretty parts and the ugly ones. Because one day when I'm gone, I want you to tell your children. Grandma Rose was a mess. But she loved with every broken piece of her heart. And that was enough. If this old lady made you cry, do me a favor. Call your grandma right now. Ask her something you've never asked. Because one day you'll wish you had. And if you want, share one secret in the comments that you've never told anyone. I'll read every single one as long as God lets me. I love you, every one of you. This is Grandma Rose. Signing off. You sweet children blew up my phone after that first video. Thousands of you wrote me letters. Real paper letters. One girl even drove 6 hours just to hug me on my porch. So I prayed about it. And the good Lord said, "Rose, they deserve the rest. Tell them everything." So here I am again. 92 and a half now. And this part is harder. When Emily, my first baby, the one they took, when she found me in 2010, I thought that was the happy ending. It wasn't. It was just the beginning of a whole new kind of pain. The first time Emily came to my house, she brought her 3 grown children. My grandbabies, I never knew I had. They called me Mama Rose. I made fried chicken and cornbread like my mama taught me. But the whole dinner, Emily kept staring at me like she was trying to memorize my face. When they left, she hugged me and whispered, "Mama, why didn't you come find me?" That question still keeps me awake at night. I wrote Emily a letter that night. 27 pages. I told her everything. How I begged the adoption agency for years. How I used to drive to Mobile every birthday and sit outside the courthouse hoping to see a little girl with green eyes. How I kept an empty crib in the attic until Harold made me get rid of it in 1972. I never mailed that letter. It's in the biscuit tin above my fridge right now. If you're still watching, bless you. Because now I have to tell you something I swore I'd take to my grave. In 1954, 2 years after they took Emily, I got pregnant again. Not by Harold, by a married man from the mill, who promised he'd leave his wife. He didn't. When I started showing, he paid a doctor in Birmingham $200 cash to take care of it. I woke up bleeding in a motel room with a note that said this never happened. I never told a soul. Not the preacher, not Harold, not even God, because I was too ashamed to pray for a long time after that. Last year, Emily wanted to do one of those DNA tests together. Mother-daughter thing. The results came back, and there was a close family match that wasn't any of her kids. She asked me, "Mama, did you have another child?" I lied. I said it must be a mistake. She knew. Mothers always know. 3 months ago, Emily showed up at my door, crying. She said, "I forgive you for giving me up. I really do. But please, don't lie to me anymore. I can't lose you twice." That day I told her about the abortion. She held me while I shook like a leaf. And she said, "You were 20 years old, and terrified. That wasn't a sin. That was survival." Emily had a son, my grandson Michael, who passed from overdose in 2018. She never told me because she was afraid it would break my heart. She showed me his picture. He looked just like Billy at 19. Same green eyes. Same crooked smile. I keep his photo in my wallet now. I talk to him when I'm rocking on the porch. I tell him, "Grandma's sorry she wasn't there to save you." 2 weeks ago, I had Emily come over, when nobody else was here. I pulled out the box I've kept under my bed for 70 years. Inside the tiny hospital bracelet from Emily's birth, Billy's dog tags that came back in a little plastic bag, a lock of hair from each of my 4 public children when they were babies, and the sonogram picture the Birmingham doctor threw in the trash. I fished out and kept. I held up that crumpled, yellowed picture to Emily. And I said, "This was your little brother or sister." I never even knew if it was a boy or a girl. Emily took it in her trembling hands, and she kissed it. Then she put it in her purse and said, "I'm taking this home. This baby is part of our family now." That was the first time in 70 years somebody called that baby mine out loud. You all think I tried to end things once. That night with the nerve pills when I was 22. Truth is, there was a second time. 1999. 1 year after Harold died, I was 66. The house was too quiet. I sat in the kitchen with his revolver on the table, and a bottle of his heart pills. I wrote goodbye letters to each of the 4 kids. Then the phone rang. It was my youngest, your Uncle Jimmy. He said, "Mama, I had a dream you needed me. I'm coming over." He got there in 12 minutes, kicked the door in, found me with the gun in my lap. He took it, held me like I was the child, and rocked me till sunrise. He never told a soul until the day he died in 2022. He took that secret to his grave, so the rest of the family wouldn't worry. I'm telling it now, because Jimmy deserves to be remembered as the hero he was. Last month, Emily brought all the grandchildren, the ones from her marriage, and the ones from my public kids, 23 in all. We had a big cookout in my backyard. Somebody put Michael's picture on the picnic table with a little candle. And Emily stood up and said, "This is our whole family. The ones here, the ones watching from heaven, and the 2 little ones we never got to hold." Then she made everybody go around and say one thing they were thankful for about me. I cried so hard my false teeth nearly fell out. 3 weeks ago I got real sick pneumonia. The doctor said, they thought I wasn't gonna make it. While I was in the hospital, half out of my mind with fever, I kept calling for Billy. Emily heard me. She climbed right into that hospital bed, put her head on my shoulder like she was 5 years old, and she whispered, "So that's the rest of it, darlings. Every ugly corner. Every hidden tear. I've got nothing left to hide now. If the good Lord takes me tonight, I'll go peaceful. Because my babies know the truth, and they love me anyway." If you're still here at the end of this one, do 2 things for an old woman. Hug somebody you've been scared to hug. In the comments, just write the name of someone you need to forgive, even if it's yourself. I'll see it from heaven, and I'll pray for you. This is Grandma Rose. I love you bigger than the sky. Good night.